Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Britt, as you can see by the title. Today I am going to be talking about some of the reasons why you cannot forgive. I'm probably going to extend this list, but let's go ahead and get into the video. So, one of the first reasons that I had to realize why a lot of people do not forgive is because we have this very loose definition of what forgiveness is. A lot of people will see forgiveness as, if I forgive somebody, that means I 100% accept this person back into my life. When that is not what forgiveness is. Forgiveness does not mean I have no boundaries. Forgiveness is I accept what you did to me and I release the negative emotion, but I will continue to protect and love myself. And this just came to mind, but people believe that to forgive, somebody must give you an apology. Now, I'm sorry, you will not always get your lick back. And that doesn't mean like karma doesn't exist. It just doesn't exist in the ways that we have always thought karma existed. Karma is just recycling of energy. All right, so now that I have given you what the definition of forgiveness really is, why is it important to forgive? Well, one, if you do not forgive, you are left with a certain energy of bitterness. Bitterness reaps more bitterness. The more you focus on something, the more it grows. So if you have a certain wound, let's say a father wound, you will have issues with masculine energy. Sorry, this train had to pass, but back to what I was saying. If you have a father wound, you usually have, how do I explain this? So for me, I have the body of a woman, but I have the mind of a weak man. So in having the mind of a weak man, it ain't no good. You'll end up attracting bad things to you, chaos. For some people, this may look like tumultuous relationships. For some people, this may be that you are the chaos. You are the tumultuousness. For me personally, it went either way. But with these negative emotions, you will attract negative experiences. It's important to let go so that you can grow and attract the things you actually want and you actually desire. So if you want to have stability and peace in your life, you need to be able to let go of these emotions. And letting go of these emotions may look different for everybody. It may look like journaling. It may look like fully, I'm not gonna say crashing out. Don't crash out publicly, but you know how people be like punching and screaming in their pillow. It may look like that. It may also look like having more expressions of creativity. It's really all about how are you going to transmute this energy, this negative energy, and turn it into something that can benefit you. So this may be you reparenting yourself. This may be you going to the past, being with yourself, and changing the narrative in the way that you see things. The main thing that you are supposed to get out of these negative experiences is going to be the lesson that you learned. The lesson is not bitterness. The lesson is not spite. The lesson is going to be something that is deep and unique to why you were placed on this planet. All right, so another reason why we do not want to forgive, a lot of times it will, that ego is strong. So when you have a bruised ego, it can really point you in the wrong directions of life. Having an ego isn't bad. Having a bruised ego though, that is an issue. And the ego is really there to protect you. And because the ego wants to protect you, sometimes protection to the ego looks like holding a grudge. But in reality, it can look like something else. It can just look like having boundaries. Because the reality is that the anger does not protect you. The boundaries do. But what the ego believes is that if I release this anger and I let it go, that means all of the boundaries will dissipate. That's not what that means. The boundaries dissipate depending on you. You are the one that sets the boundaries, not the anger. you do. You do not need to be angry to set boundaries. This was a hard lesson I had to learn. Let me give you an example. I will fall out with people and I will use anger in order to have boundaries with myself for feeling some sort of guilt and going back to these said people. So the ego makes up this story that I'm a victim and I should be angry, because my ego is misinformed and believes that if I do not have this anger, I won't have boundaries. No, not the same. Not the same. So I'm here to tell you, you can set boundaries and not use anger. Another thing that the ego likes to do is the ego loves to hold people accountable. When it is wounded, it will try to hold people accountable as a way of getting revenge. If you do not act on it, then the ego will hold on to it and say, hey baby, since you didn't get your lick back, we're just gonna have to hold this grudge here. That way this person can have some sort of accountability. That way this person didn't get away with what they did to me, because I'm holding on to it for you. And this will be more common for people who are like passive aggressive people. Like, they love to do this. Trust me, I've been one of them. And this may also be one of those people who have been gaslit before. So this may look like people will come and diminish your feelings about a situation, and because they've diminished your feelings, it makes you want to intensify this anger that you feel towards the situation you're having. So it makes you want to hold on deeper to this thing, because it's like, I'm defending myself, nobody believes me, I gotta hold on to this for dear life. I have to hold on to this anger for the life of me. And honestly, your anger does not hold people accountable. And getting revenge most of the time will not hold anybody accountable. We need to get on this one understanding that I've come into this life and I've chosen certain things to already happen to me. There's a certain lesson that I'm here to learn. And certain things are just going to happen to me in this life because honestly, I chose this. Before I manifested into the world, I chose what my lessons were going to look like. And part of the lesson is going to be rewiring the way your ego thinks about things, the way your ego controls you, and really just offing your ego and rebirthing it to something that actually benefits you. So yeah. Next point, and probably the last one, this is the last one I'm gonna come up with. Another reason why I see that people do not want to forgive is a lack of forgiveness and grace for yourself. You must forgive yourself. Within the forgiveness of others, you must forgive yourself. And I know, like, sometimes it's hard to be like, what do I forgive myself for? Forgive yourself even for always believing that somebody was supposed to treat you right.
And let me clarify this, baby, because you definitely need to have expectations, but you do not need to have expectations for specific people or specific events. And this is really the key to minimizing your disappointment while also still expecting the best in the future. So this looks like, hey, I have certain expectations of the people that are supposed to be in my life, but if one specific person that I really want in my life, let's say it's my best friend, I want her to be in my life, but she is not abiding by the specific expectations I have for the people that I want in my life, whoever it is, they have to go. You do not abide by the boundaries I set for myself, you gotta go. Everyone in my life is held to this standard, including me. When you do not meet the expectation, I cannot put all of my focus on you not meeting the expectation. Because when you have specific expectations for specific people, you get too attached to these people and you get too attached to the way these people make you feel. And this is the exact point of which you start holding resentment towards yourself. Because now you're looking back and picking apart the amount of energy you've poured into people, and now you're mad at yourself for thinking so highly of people. Or you might even look back and be like, wow, I allowed my view of somebody to blind me from the red flags that I chose to ignore.
I've inflated certain things in my life So now, because I have inflated these things, I have to forgive myself for the inflation of things and the way that I perceived people on a higher pedestal than myself. I'm sorry that I did not prioritize you. Stuff like that. These are things that you have to forgive yourself for. I'm sorry that I did not have the tools to protect myself. It could also mean I'm sorry that I expected the worst. There's always a train. No, I don't even know where I was at. But the point is, let's go to a separate point. Child, I don't even know. So, with forgiveness, there must be grace. There has to be grace in this. You cannot bully yourself. Trust me. I learned bullying myself does not work. Shaming myself does not work. Beating myself up does not work. A lot of us are dealing with inner child wounds that are very sensitive. There's a certain way you needed to be spoken to when you were a child, and you must speak to yourself in the way that you would have preferred to be spoken to as a child. And you need to give yourself the grace you wish you had as a child. And you need to be able to give yourself the forgiveness you wish you had as a child. Because if you cannot forgive yourself, you cannot forgive others. And that's not to say you can't start forgiving with other people. Of course, you can start small, but once you start really digging deep and getting past that first layer, a lot of the forgiveness is going to have to first deal with you and then deal with your deepest and deepest and deepest of wounds, okay? Whew, baby, this inner work journey ain't no joke. And that's why I will always send you all love. I will always send you all grace. If you need any help with inner work, I have a website. I haven't promoted it yet. Link is in the bio. If you need any help with inner work, the link is down below. But yes, I am so glad to be back. I haven't filmed in like 2 months. While you all are here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye. Oh wait, I forgot. I be doing this. Bye.